My beloved child, there are seasons I open before you, not so that you may enter them in haste, but with watchfulness. A new season is not always as gentle as the morning breeze. Sometimes it carries new responsibilities, new rhythms of learning, new positions, and things you have never been accustomed to carrying. So if you feel tired, do not be quick to conclude that you have taken the wrong path. There is a kind of weariness that comes from growth, like a farmer whose shoulders ache after a day of sowing seed, yet whose heart remains at peace because he knows he is doing what is right. But there is also a weariness that comes from trying to carry what I did not assign to you, trying to answer calls that did not come from me, trying to prove your worth with strength that is already fading. I want you to know how to discern between these two, because this discernment will keep you from condemning yourself and from staying too long in a place that causes you to wither. When you are tired because you are learning something new, because your endurance is being stretched, because you are stepping into a land I have prepared. That weariness will ease when you learn to rest, to eat properly, to sleep enough, and to return to my presence in silence. But when you are tired, and the more you rest, the heavier you feel, the more you try, the more your heart shrinks, the more you work, the more you lose your peace, then that is no longer the healthy fatigue of the journey. It is a bell reminding you that something needs to be adjusted. I did not call you here so that you would be exhausted in the name of faithfulness. I do not rejoice when you treat depletion as proof of your love for me. You do not have to break down before you are allowed to stop. I want you to learn to listen to the small signs, your breath becoming rushed, your sensitivity becoming excessive, your mind becoming tangled, your joy growing quiet, your patience becoming thin. These are not your enemies. They are gentle reminders that you need to return to the right rhythm. And my child, returning quickly is a great grace I am teaching you in this season. You do not need to become someone who never falls out of rhythm. You need to become someone who recognizes when you have drifted and comes back early. Some people take years to return because they are trapped in shame, self-blame, and fear. But I do not stand among the voices that crush you. I stand on the side of awareness, corrección, and growth. When you realize you have spoken too quickly, taken on too much, gone too far, or allowed your heart to be pulled away from peace, then stop. Do not keep running just to hide your weariness. Breathe slowly. Name what is happening. Look at it directly without trembling, and choose my rhythm again. One step back into peace can save you from many months of confusion. You often think responsibility means you must strain yourself. But I say to you, healthy responsibility does not crush you. It places you into orderly maturity. Self-condemnation is different. Self-condemnation bows your head in darkness and makes you replay old mistakes in your mind until they become larger than mercy. Healthy responsibility lifts you up, shows you what needs to be corrected, and then leads you forward. Do not confuse these two voices. One voice paralyzes you. The other makes you clear. One voice causes you to hide from me. The other draws you closer to me. When you know how to discern, the trial will lose its power to magnify itself within your heart. There will be times in the new season when you look to the side and see others moving faster, being recognized sooner, appearing lighter, seeming as though they do not wrestle as you do. But my beloved, your eyes were not created to count the footsteps of others more than to see the path I have placed before you. Comparison is like a strange wind that blows out the lamp of presence within you. It makes you forget what I am speaking so clearly through today's small assignment, through the person in front of you, through the peace that is inviting you to do each thing at the right time. Your path has its own rhythm because what I have entrusted to you is also unique. Another person's burden is not your burden. Their season is not your measure. Their speed is not a verdict over the journey you are walking. Remember the story of Elijah, the one who once stood before great confrontations and witnessed, "My power revealed mightily." Yet afterward, he too became tired, afraid, and entered a desolate place with a heavy heart. I did not first come to him with harsh rebuke. I let him rest. I fed him. I allowed him to sleep. Then I fed him again, because the journey ahead was still long. Do you see? I do not despise the weariness of those who are sent. I care for them in their weakness. I did not tell Elijah to immediately rise and prove that he was strong. I restored him layer by layer with bread, with water, with rest, with a gentle whisper. In the same way, when you become tired in a new season, I do not want you to panic over that tiredness. I want you to let me care for you in a deeper, truer, gentler way. From that place, you will learn to look at the fruit of every choice. Do not only ask whether something is attractive, whether others will praise it, or whether it will make you advance quickly. Ask what it produces in you after 1 month, after 3 months, after 1 year. Does it widen your heart or cause it to shrink? Does it nourish clarity or make you more confused? Does it bring you nearer to me in trust, or push you into a cycle of proving and anxiety? The fruit of a thing will reveal its root. There are doors that open beautifully, but lead you into distraction. There are opportunities that look ordinary, but nurture perseverance, peace, and maturity. Therefore, do not look only at the outward appearance of a choice. Look at what it is quietly forming inside you. If the fruit is lasting peace, increasing clarity, softened love within you, deeper endurance, and a greater ability to be fully present with what I have entrusted to you, then you are walking in a healthy rhythm. But if the fruit is disorder, dryness, irritation, fear, shrinking, and the farther you go, the farther you move from my gentleness, then adjust. Adjustment is not failure. Adjustment is a sign that you can still hear. The wise person is not the one who never steps off course, but the one who knows how to stop before drifting too far. I did not give you discernment so that you would condemn yourself. I gave you discernment so that you would be protected. So, my child, in this new season, walk slowly enough to hear, quickly enough to obey, softly enough to be corrected, and firmly enough not to be pulled by noise. When you are tired, ask me, is this a healthy weariness that needs rest, or an exhaustion that needs change? When you drift, return quickly. When you are uncertain, look at the fruit. When comparison rises, return to the portion of ground I have assigned to you today. You are not being left behind when you walk in the right rhythm. You do not lose what belongs to you when you are faithful to what is in front of you. What I have prepared for you does not require you to trade your peace in order to receive it. I will lead you with steadiness, lift you with mercy, teach you to mature without losing your softness, and help you pass through this new season, not by striving under a burden, but by a rhythm of life placed in my hands. My beloved child, when I expand your influence, I will also teach you how to guard your heart among the voices that come near. Greater influence does not only bring greater opportunities, it also brings more eyes, more comments, more evaluation, and at times, words that wound you. Do not be surprised when this happens. The taller a tree grows, the stronger the wind it meets, the higher a lamp is placed, the more people see its light. But, my child, I did not bring you into a wider place so that you would become fragile before every voice. I brought you there so that you would learn to stand firm in peace, to listen without being swept away, to discern without becoming hard-hearted, to correct yourself without losing the joy of being loved by me. There are criticisms that carry seeds of truth, even when the way people speak them may not be gentle. There are other words that are only dust from the road. Noise, projections from another person's wounds or jealousy. If you close your heart immediately, you may drop something I want to use to refine you. But if you open your heart completely and let every word enter, you will soon become weary, confused, and unable to hear my voice clearly. Therefore, you must learn a holy art. Bring every word before my presence, neither rushing to embrace it nor rushing to throw it away. Let me place my hand upon each word. Separate what is useful from what causes interference. Keep the good seed, and blow away what does not nourish you. Not every word that hurts you is an enemy, and not every word that sounds reasonable comes from wisdom. What you need is not a quick reaction, but deep discernment. When someone gives you feedback, do not let defensiveness rise before humility. Defensiveness often speaks loudly but learns very little. It makes you rush to explain, rush to prove, rush to protect your image, while I may only want you to look at one small corner that needs correction. But do not confuse humility with swallowing every word others place upon you. Humility is not making yourself small before every judgment. Humility is being soft enough to learn what is right, firm enough to release what is false, and still enough not to fight every opposing voice. You were not created to become a vessel that holds every opinion of the world. I am teaching you to become someone who knows how to filter, how to keep, how to let go, and how to grow without becoming bitter. Remember the story of Nehemiah when he returned to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. The work he was doing was good, entrusted, and meant to support an entire people. But when the wall began to rise, mockery also rose. People laughed, doubted, fabricated stories, and tried to pull him down from his primary work. They wanted him to take his hands off what needed to be built and go argue in the plain. But Nehemiah did not let noise determine his rhythm. He did not chase every provocation. He did not abandon the work just to defend his reputation before people who did not truly want to understand. He continued building, continued watching, continued praying, continued doing what had been entrusted to him. Do you see? There are times when your victory is not found in answering every criticism, but in refusing to leave the wall I told you to build. Likewise, my child, as your influence increases, invitations will multiply. People will come to you with many good proposals, many doors that seem valuable, many assignments that sound noble. But hear me clearly, not every good thing is your portion. There are good things that belong to someone else. There are right things that are wrong in timing. There are beautiful tasks that would dilute what I am focusing on building within you. If you try to hold everything because you fear missing out, you will lose depth. If you say yes to every invitation, you will soon no longer have enough presence for what matters most. I do not measure your faithfulness by the number of things you accept, but by the depth with which you live in the assignment I have given you. Therefore, I want you to learn the discipline of selectiveness. Choosing less is not poverty. Choosing less is honoring what is precious. Choose less so you can go deeper, love deeper, serve deeper, speak with weight, and sow seed in the soil truly assigned to you. Doing many things may make you appear busy, but it does not always make you fruitful. Busyness may cause others to think you are advancing far, while within you, you become scattered. Focus may be quieter, less dramatic, but it keeps the flow within you pure. Influence stretched too thin will weary you and give others very little. Influence placed rightly will become a source of support, healing, and illumination for many people in a lasting way. I also want you to guard your voice. When I give your words greater weight, you must speak with even greater kindness. There are strong people listening to you, but there are also weak people listening. Some are mature enough to receive clarity, but others are fragile, and one heavy word could cause them to close up. Do not use your voice to show that you are above others. Do not use understanding to force others to bow down. Do not use sharpness like a blade when I want you to use it as an instrument of healing. Truth does not need to be cruel to have power. Clarity does not need to be heavy to have value. Words placed in peace will find a resting place in the heart of the listener. Words born from tension often only cause others to step back. There will be times when you need to speak directly, but speak directly with purity. There will be times when you need to correct others, but correct them like someone lifting a precious object, not like someone throwing a stone. There will be times when you need to refuse, but refuse without contempt. There will be times when you need to remain silent, not because you are weak, but because silence in that moment is wisdom guarding peace. I am not calling you to become someone who speaks less out of fear. I am calling you to become someone who speaks at the right time, in the right place, with the right spirit. A word spoken in its proper moment can open a door for someone to enter into life. A word spoken out of rhythm, even if its content is right, can make it harder for them to hear what they need to hear. Observe the source from which your words come. If you speak from the need to be recognized, your words will carry the scent of self-display. If you speak from the pressure to win, your words will carry a weight that presses down on others. If you speak from irritation that has not yet been healed, your words will touch the listener's wound without bringing restoration. But if you speak from a place that I have made gentle, your words will have firmness without coldness, strength without harshness, guidance without control. That is the voice I want to grow within you, not noisy, not showy, but full of presence and trustworthy. So, my child, do not fear comments when your influence increases, but do not let them rule you either. Do not run after every compliment, because praise can intoxicate you. Do not collapse beneath every criticism, because criticism can make you forget to whom you belong. Bring both before me. I will teach you to receive praise without pride, correction without breaking, to ignore noise without despising people, and to continue doing what has been entrusted to you without losing peace. When you know how to choose less in order to go deeper, how to speak words that lift instead of crush, how to listen to feedback while keeping your heart free, your influence will not only become wider, but purer. And that is what I am building in you, an influence that does not draw you away from me, but makes you more like my love in every word, every choice, every quiet and steadfast step. My beloved child, there is something I want to place very clearly before you, not so that you would distrust every voice, but so that you would mature in discernment. Not everything that carries a spiritual appearance truly comes from the light. There are words covered in beautiful language, decorated with urgency, wrapped in promises of blessing. Yet beneath them lies a cord pulling you into fear. They do not lift you up in trust, but touch your fear of lack, awakening the feeling that you are about to miss something if you do not act immediately. Click immediately. Speak immediately. Keep it secret immediately. Obey immediately. My child, be watchful. I never need to use panic to lead you into grace. I do not need to build a psychological trap to force you into what is good. What comes from me may be urgent, but it is not chaotic. It may be powerful, but it is not manipulative. It may call you to obedience, but it does not turn you into someone cornered in darkness. I do not teach you to exchange mechanical actions for my love. I do not tell you to perform an outward sign in order to unlock my mercy. I do not place my grace behind a secret door and make you guess the right password. You are not loved because you have completed enough of a ritual. You are loved because you belong to me. Faith is not a commodity to be traded, nor is it a ticket used to purchase a miracle. Faith is a living reliance between me and you, a daily walk in trust, a heart that turns back to me even when it cannot yet see the whole road. When someone makes you believe that one hurried action, one comment, one click, one secretive act can determine whether I will show you favor or not, then stop and discern. My love is not so fragile that it can be controlled by your hurried motions. What is truly from me does not fear the light. Truth does not tremble when it is examined. Wisdom does not require you to turn off healthy judgment in order to believe. If a word tells you not to ask, not to verify, not to tell anyone, not to think only to rush after it because you fear losing your portion, then know that it carries the scent of bondage. I do not lead you into secrecy that makes you uneasy. I do not build your faith on pressure-filled mysteries. I lead you into a bright place, where what is right can stand firm even when tested, where your heart can be opened without being exploited, where obedience walks with peace and not with panic. Remember this: what belongs to me may cause you to tremble in reverence, but it will not turn you into someone controlled by the fear of being abandoned. I want you to learn to recognize the tone of a word. Every word carries a breath, a rhythm, a source. Some words sound very loud but are empty. Some look very glittering but leave you tired. Some promise much but leave disorder within you. And there are also simple words, unshowy, unsensational, needing no stage, that enter your heart and make you clearer, calmer, braver, and more upright. A word from me does not need exaggeration to have power. It may be as gentle as wind moving through a field of grain, yet it is enough to awaken you. It may be sharp, touching what you need to correct, but within that sharpness there is still mercy holding you. It may call you to change, but it does not crush you beneath shame. It may point out what has gone astray, but at the same time it opens a way for you to return. By contrast, words that do not come from purity often intoxicate you before they drain you. They push your emotions high, paint outcomes that are too easy, promise shortcuts that require no maturity, ignite cheap hope, and then leave you empty when the feeling passes. You may find yourself swept into momentary excitement, thinking you are being strengthened, but afterward you become weary, doubtful, disappointed, and feel as though you have been pulled away from steadiness. I do not want you to live on such intoxication. I do not want you to move from one stirring message to another and call that faith. I want you to drink from a pure spring, the kind that makes you steady rather than causing you to blaze for a moment and then burn out. I want you to receive what nourishes clarity, firmness, gentleness, and courage within you. Remember the story of Gideon in the days when he was still hiding in fear. When I called him, I did not use noise to manipulate him. I did not tell him to perform a superstitious act to prove he was worthy of being chosen. I came into the midst of his trembling and called him by a name higher than what he thought of himself. Gideon asked questions, proceeded cautiously, and needed to be strengthened. I did not despise that weakness. I led him step by step, helped him recognize the true calling, and then taught him that victory does not come from the display of great numbers, but from dependence on me. When the crowd was reduced to only a few, it was not a shocking trick meant to panic him, but a lesson to help him know where true strength comes from. Do you see? I do not need to deceive you with easy promises. I train you through truth, patience, and steps that cause you to mature in trust. Therefore, do not let yourself be led by words that always demand haste. Haste is not always a sign of life. Sometimes it is only a layer of smoke covering a lack of stability. When a word comes to you, ask, after hearing this, is my heart brought into peace or thrown into fear? Am I invited to walk in the light or pulled into secrecy? Am I encouraged to mature or enticed to seek a shortcut? Am I led closer to me or merely stirred by a pleasant vision? Am I free to discern or pressured to act immediately because I fear losing my portion? These questions are a fence of protection around you. I do not give discernment so that you would become cold, but so that you would love what is true and stay away from what pulls you off course. Guard what is good with gratitude. Gratitude softens your hands, causing you neither to grip tightly out of fear of loss nor to take lightly what has become familiar. When you are grateful, you see everything as a stewardship, not as a possession to display. Guard what is good with rest, because nothing precious is worth exchanging your deep peace in order to maintain it. Guard what is good with measured speech, because there are things I am growing in silence, and if you speak too much, you will dilute their holiness. Guard what is good with clear boundaries, because boundaries are not a lack of love, they are a fence protecting what has been entrusted, so it will not be trampled by disorder. Guard what is good with a soft heart and a steady inner axis, so that you can love without losing yourself. Open your heart without opening the door for everything to enter. When you know how to guard in this way, the fear of loss will no longer rule you as it once did. You will understand that what truly belongs to the light does not need to be preserved through panic. What I place in your life will not be stolen from you simply because you are not rushing, not showing off, not chasing noise. Some things leave because they no longer belong to your season. Let them go in peace. Some things return because they recognize that order has been established within you. Receive them with maturity. Some things have not yet arrived because I am still preparing both you and them. Wait in trust. You do not need to clutch everything like one who lacks. You can stand in the right place, live in the right rhythm, and trust that what needs to remain will remain in a healthy way. But my child, this journey does not end with you alone. What I do within you will become light for others, not through noise, but through the weight of a life that has been reordered. You will not need to try to fix everyone around you. Some of the best correction does not come from lengthy advice, but from a peaceful presence. The one who is confused will see that you are not rushing, and they will remember that they too can breathe more slowly. The one who does not know how to keep boundaries will see you say no while still full of love, and they will understand that respecting themselves is not selfish. The one being swept into compromise will see you choose what is right even without applause, and they will realize that faithfulness still has its own beauty, even when it is quiet. Remember the story of Daniel in a foreign land. He did not need to loudly prove that he belonged to me. He lived by a rhythm formed from within, knowing how to pray, how to keep himself, how to serve with excellence, how to stand firm when others changed under the pressure of power. When people searched for a reason to bring him down, they could find nothing except his faithfulness. His life spoke before he needed to defend himself. Even in the lion's den, his honor did not come from the king's throne, but from the truth that upheld him in the secret place. Do you see? When a person lives in my order, that person does not need to run everywhere defending their name. Truth will stand up at the right time. Peace will testify. Faithfulness will become a voice no one can easily silence. Likewise, you do not need to compete to be seen. You do not need to keep explaining yourself in order to preserve your honor. You do not need to turn every misunderstanding into a battle. Simply live rightly in the portion entrusted to you. Let the way you work, the way you rest, the way you answer, the way you remain silent, the way you love, and the way you keep boundaries become a sermon without words. Some people will learn from you without you knowing it. Some will be encouraged simply because they see that you are no longer ruled by chaos. Some will recover courage because they see you choose the light when no one is there to applaud. I can use your ordinary life to sow something extraordinary into others, if that ordinary life is lived in truth. Therefore, the word I place upon you today is not a heavy command, but a gentle invitation. Rest in the light. But do not surrender yourself to carelessness. Rest does not mean losing vigilance. Peace does not mean allowing everything to enter. Keep your heart soft so that you can love, empathize, forgive, and receive what is good, but also keep the door of your heart clear and bright so that ambiguity, manipulation, chaos, and falsehood cannot enter and take control. You can be kind and still be clear. You can be generous and still have limits. You can give without turning your giving into a way of seeking recognition. You can work wholeheartedly without using work to prove that you are worthy of being loved. I want you to remember this deeply. Your worth existed before you stepped onto any stage, before anyone called your name, before you completed what others expected, before you achieved what you once prayed for. That worth was not created by success, so failure cannot take it away. That worth was not built by praise, so criticism cannot tear it down. That worth does not come from always being strong, always being useful, always being needed. That worth comes from the fact that you belong to me. You are my child, loved with a love that does not have to be paid for through exhaustion, does not have to be maintained through perfection, and does not have to be proven through prominence. So keep walking, my beloved, with the gentleness of one who knows they have been named in love. Guard what I give you with gratitude, with rest, with clean speech, with clear boundaries, with faithfulness in the place no one sees. Let your life become a river, not a noisy wave. Become shade. Not a flame that burns itself out. Become a living testimony. Not a weary argument. When you choose the light in silence, I see it. When you keep your heart upright where no one applauds, I see it. When you love without losing clarity, I see it. And what I see in the secret place will uphold you in the wider place. Because lasting blessing does not only come to those who know how to ask, but remains with those who know how to live in my order.